So in my recent deep dive video on wall spells, I made the claim that you can cast Wall of Force in its hemispherical form around your enemies but several inches off of the floor so that you can get spells in there like Sickening Radiance and do the infamous microwave tactic. A commenter disagreed, claiming that a hemisphere implies that it has a floor. And since the spell says it's a hemisphere, it does have a floor. And so I decided to research this, and it does seem that a lot of people, if not most people, agree with that it must have a floor, including Jeremy Crawford, who originally, when asked this question, said that it didn't have a floor, but then later corrected himself to say that it did, on the basis that the spell description says hemisphere. And this is the same argument that all the others are making. Because the spell description says hemisphere, and hemispheres have floors, therefore Wall of Force in its hemispherical form has a floor. But I disagree with all of those people, including Jeremy Crawford. That might be the rules as intended, and it's certainly understandable if a DM chooses to rule it that way. But rules as written, there is no floor. Because in the spell description, it doesn't actually say that you can create a hemisphere with Wall of Force. It says you can create a hemispherical dome. Well, domes don't have floors. And in this context, it's pretty clear that the adjective hemispherical means the shape of the upper half. If they had actually meant there to be a floor, they would have said hemisphere. But they used two words instead of one word to specify a dome. And domes don't have bottoms. So I'm sorry, I don't, I don't see how rules as written, Jeremy Crawford and the others are correct. This extends even more strongly to Tiny Hut, because Tiny Hut never says hemisphere anywhere. It specifies dome, and it goes on to specify around and above you, but never says below you. So I'm pretty confident in my rules as written interpretation that neither Wall of Force in its hemispherical form or Tiny Hut have floors. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments. Let me know how your DMs tend to rule it. I would love to get a large sample size and, get a fairly accurate percentage of how many DMs rule it with a floor and how many DMs rule it without a floor. And in any case, thank you so much for watching. This has been Bill Bronze and Dragons. I'm your host, Bill Bron Bafflestone. See you next time.